Is something get so bright? I don't think so, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an all-new From the Chair Where Inclusion Matters with your new host, Mr. Stanley Simpson, his co-host, Pat, and a person to be named later in this podcast. We'll be back.
Hold up.
We'll be back in just a couple of seconds to start the show.
Give me that. We're picking on Nathan tonight. Woohoo!
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to start the show.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
Tonight on the show, should I let the new host out of the now? I don't know. If he promises to be good, I'll put him back in the stream.
Oh, welcome back, Nate. Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, first of all,
Hey, we're in the intro. Hush during the intro. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the all-new From the Chair Where Inclusion Matters with your new host, Stanley Simpson. We'll be going live in about 30 seconds to start the show. Now we're back to the show, and tonight it's an impromptu interview with the one and only Stanley and Pat, and their guest tonight, Mr. Nathan Noss. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
first of all, how can I be a guest when it's my show, when it's our show, but I'm the host? Second of all, I am not going to be relegated to something you hear on the backside of a bad baseball trade. As far as the player to be named later, thank you very much.
Welcome to our viewer tonight.
And if you want to know what I'm doing with this phone in my hand, I'm currently contacting Triple M to get this stopped. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, tonight, tonight, will Nathan have control of this podcast? I highly doubt it.
Guess you want to take over. So, Nate, you going down, buddy.
You ain't taking over nothing. If you take over this podcast, I will own that Mariners house.
So moving on. Let's talk a little baseball news. Yeah, let's talk about let's talk about the Mariners.
Yeah, what's up, Nate? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Alright,
But this
let's talk
isn't
about
over.
baseball. Let's talk about Sam Mariners. One,
Let's talk about the Mariners.
how about the Rams? First sweep ever. You got that start. They are 8-8, 500. When the Houston Astros, they lost tonight. They are 7-9.
Yes, but as I told Pat the other day, you can't sleep on the Anaheim Angel or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me the Mariners are 8-8? You mean
Yes,
they
sir.
finished a game better? They finished the game better than what Nathan's WrestleMania picks were?
Yes, sir.
Yes, well, we all can't be as smart as you, but every squirrel needs a nut every once in a while.
We almost had a no-hitter to the game. Almost.
Yes, Luis Castillo was amazing today.
What happened to Cleveland Guardians? I thought they would be hottest team of the season. They lost.
No, the problem with the Guardians is their pitching. They have a good offense, but they have nothing to go behind Beaver or any of their other starting pitchers.
Because right now, our Mariners bullpen is locked and loaded, on fire right now. And our pitching, and our offense, and our defense, outfield. What JP Crawford says, we are becoming a hottest team in baseball. We'll be becoming hottest team in the baseball history.
Well, that's lofty expectations for a team that's only 8-8, and you know how big of a Mariners fan I am. But I can't say the bullpen's on lock because they have been walking quite a few batters.
Philadelphia beat Cincinnati Reds 14-3. I don't know the football score, y'all.
Yeah, the funny thing about Philadelphia, did you guys hear that Bryce Harper is taking practice at first base? Because the Phillies need help because of Hoskins going down with the torn ACL.
Let's see here. Yankees beat Minnesota Twins. Big Apple. New York Yankees.
Well, I mean, anytime you get Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton on the same team, if they even have half the pitching, which they've been decimated on pitching because of the injuries. But if their pitching ever gets healthy, the Yankees, as much as I hate to say it, because I am not a Yankees fan, are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I will put you this way. I will put Antonio on this spot. Atlanta Braves beat Kansas City Royals 5-4.
Well, that's not a big surprise considering Atlanta's a really good team and Kansas City. My apologies to anybody in the Missouri area, but Kansas City kind of sucks as far as the baseball team goes.
What do you think, Pat?
Looking at the stats right now, again, the two teams to be beaten this year, it's going to be the Atlanta Braves and the Tampa Bay.
Oh God,
But
I'm with you on Atlanta, but Tampa's going to have to get better pitching.
Yep. But y'all are forgetting one thing. Atlanta's doing this good, being down 3 starting pitchers, y'all. 3 starting pitchers, and they're still doing this good.
Well, yes, but if you have a really good offense and a balanced offense, as I said last night, you can survive having 3 starters out.
That's why I said the two teams, even though everyone's going to count out Tampa Bay, right now they're way better in their than any of the teams in their division right now. And I don't know how they're doing it without a good pitcher behind them.
Listen here.
Because they're
they have
14-2.
Yeah.
They have a good offense and they play good defense.
Yeah. Listen here.
Which is actually surprising since they got rid of Killmeyer, because I thought he was their best defensive player last year.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to badmouth a team, badmouth the Oakland Athletics.
They suck. So, y'all.
I don't know. I hate to
You
do
mean
this
soon
to
to be
you, Pat,
Vegas?
'cause I know they're your favorite team, but I have to badmouth the Dodgers. You have a
Oh,
By all means, badmouth the Dodgers. I don't mind.
you have a payroll the size of the Dodgers, and you can't bring anybody else in behind Clayton Kershaw.
ouch.
And you mean the team that actually? And you mean the team that actually? And let's be honest. And the team that actually stole Freddie Freeman away from the Braves because his agent was in bed with their owner.
Well, I hope he bought him dinner first.
Let's see.
Like I said, by all means, badmouth the Dodgers because
Last year, Houston took
I could see him making the playoffs, but I do not see him going into the World Series.
Not unless they make a trade to get a better pitcher, some better pitching in that rotation.
Who's let's see here. Let's talk about San Diego Padres, y'all.
That team
Padres
scares
got
me.
beat by Milwaukee Bruins by 1-0.
Yeah, but I looked to see San Diego face off with Atlanta in the NLCS.
I don't know. Milwaukee, Stanley is right. Milwaukee could have something to say about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's early in the season. Anything is possible.
Yep.
But the best outcome will be after the All-Star break.
Second half.
And I mean, come on. The one player in the major leagues right now, in my opinion, that's not getting the most publicity, and he probably should, is that Rowdy Tavares for the Milwaukee Brewers.
And not to mention Wilson Contreras either. You know, probably
Exactly.
probably the saddest trade in all of Atlanta Braves history last year.
Yeah, speaking of the Atlanta Braves, I have a question. So you trade for Murphy, right? With the Oakland A's?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not your starting catcher?
Wait, Murphy?
I thought he was because Denard got hurt or something.
Well, he might be now, but he wasn't when Darno was, or Denard, or whatever you pronounce his name, was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Murphy's a better offensive, hitting catcher, to tell you the truth.
He's better defensively. He's one of the best defensive catchers out there.
So to me, it makes no sense why they were bringing him in off the bench, and putting, how do you pronounce it? Denard?
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think pretty soon the Ozuna experiment's going to get done in Atlanta, and they're actually going to start putting they're going to start carrying 3 catchers, and then the other one's going to start DHing.
I'll tell you the guy that I'm looking forward to seeing him get hot for the Mariners is
Julio Rodriguez.
Is which one, Nathan?
Hernandez.
Or Hennes?
Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, he's been getting his hits, but I mean, he's not been getting a lot of lift on the ball as far as like home runs go and stuff.
Oh yeah. No, he and that's supposed to be the trade. That's supposed to be the trade of the century for the Mariners.
And it still could be. I mean, that's the thing about Teoscar is when he gets hot, he starts mashing the ball like crazy.
And again, this is from a co-host, y'all. I mean, a co-host has this much baseball knowledge. But
well,
again, he's trying to outshine the host yet again.
Well, I have to. I am the host.
You're fired, Nate. You're fired.
You can't fire me. Again, if you fire me, my attorney will take that Mariners hat, your glasses, and that TV behind you too.
I have one question for you, Nate. I have one question for you. Who
You're the host with the most. Thank you.
One. Did you win that SmackDown?
Who won at SmackDown?
No, for
There
one.
was
You say you have that for Tony. If you win on that SmackDown, you need to win that dress.
No, that was WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, and I'm admitted on this podcast as the host that I lost that bet, and I will be a man of my word, and I will wear that wear the dress.
Oh.
Hey,
But
Nathan,
you know,
there is one person you could probably get on your side and to get Stanley in the ring.
Wait, what? Oh, heck no.
Get Gino.
Oh.
Gino will help you.
Oh.
Or better
Oh,
yet,
what's the matter, Stanley? You all of a sudden so quiet.
or better yet,
Shit.
how about Vertical?
it's
Got
okay,
nothing to
Stanley.
say now.
It's okay, Stanley. Vertigo or Julio or Mr. I Told You So wants to date Sable, who's married to Brock Lesnar. That's
Yep.
okay. I know Brock really personal. You're fine.
Hey, something else is coming up soon as soon. NFL draft, y'all.
Yeah. The question is Seattle gonna hold on to the number 5 pick, or are they gonna like trade down or try to trade somebody for it?
They will hold on that number 5 pick. I still didn't see it on the draft pick.
And thank you to our one viewer tonight. We really appreciate it.
Who's that?
I don't know. They were there and then they went away.
Dakota Hayes, if you're on, watch our live stream. Let's see what else.
I heard a really like fantasy trade today on my Facebook that made me laugh.
What?
Somebody said the Seattle Seahawks would trade like their second, third, and fourth round draft pick this year for Chase Young and Montez Sweat of the Washington Commanders. First of all, there's no way the Commanders would take that trade.
Nope.
Because why would you get rid of somebody the caliber of Chase Young?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he would be wonderful to have in Seattle. I just think it's going to take more than what that trade said.
Oh God, that's QB right there. That will be Geno Smith will have fight for number 1 quarterback.
So, are you thinking they're gonna draft the quarterback from Florida,
I think so.
Richardson?
I think so. He's still on our draft pick.
Well, that would make sense because Mel Kiper and all of them have said that he's a good talent, but he's one of those talents that would have to sit behind whoever the starting quarterback is.
It will be a toss-up. Geno Smith think he's still number 1, but I am hoping for a new QB. But
and the problem I have with the 3-year contract with Geno Smith is, how do you know last year wasn't just a fluke?
yeah, he surprised everybody.
You mean much like this host on the show is a fluke.
No, see, unlike Geno Smith, I have talent.
Hold up, sir. If you had talent, meet me on basketball court.
Really, Stanley? You're gonna challenge a guy in a wheelchair to a basketball game?
Nathan, don't worry. Stanley can't even get past me. And he knows it.
To be fair, a snail could get past you.
Hey.
Stanley ran into a brick wall this past year in basketball.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know how that feels.
he busted his mouth open when he hit me.
Yeah.
By the way,
So
how's your mouth feeling after that?
That's a key point. Stanley, you're playing basket. There's two things that can be good for: basketball or podcasting. It's always a good idea to keep your mouth shut and let the host talk.
That's some advice that you should really take, Nathan.
Bye.
Now back to the show.
But in your honest opinion, Stanley, what do you see good this coming NFL season?
I would say Seahawks will be a good. I'm hoping for a bounce back year. Honestly, so Pat, I'll put your Rams down in a hole.
Again,
And,
everyone badmouths LA.
and
Wait till after the break.
lost for a few of their players. Welcome back, Bobby Wagner. B-Swag is back in Seahawks. Wearing number 54, not number 45. And, Bobby Wagner says this. We will get a good defense, and we got a good coordinators. Seahawks might be a top Northwest top team in NFL.
Okay, so I think we got the co-host. I think we got the co-host audio back. Nathan, are you back?
I am back, but again, I'm the host, not the co-host.
Sorry, sir. Your co-host.
You know, I thought.
I'm sorry, we lost his audio again.
All right, how about this? What you will say about Baltimore Ravens? About Beckham Jr.
Well, I think if they can't get Lamar Jackson back, it's not going to matter if you have Odell Beckham Jr. Because who are you going to have throw to him? Humley?
I think so. But if Lamar Jackson will leave Baltimore, what team you think he will be on?
That's a good question.
He said he got his eyes on Hawks.
I don't know if the Seahawks would want to spend that much money, but my dark horse would be the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh, Colts. Where do you put Carson Wentz?
In the retirement line.
Ooh. How about Hey, Nate, check your thing. Your co-host. I'm the host.
You are not.
Oh, burn again, Nate. This is your new host right here.
You are not the new host.
This is your new host right here.
What is it, coward? You mute yourself after you change things around?
So, Nick, fresh blood right here.
You can change the names. You can silence my rights to free speech all you want. You know, and everybody knows that I'm the host of this podcast.
The screen don't lie.
I don't give a damn what the screen says.
What you say about Lamar Jackson, Nate?
I said he's probably going to go to the Colts because that makes the most sense.
The Colts. Oh.
Yeah, they're not going to keep Matt Ryan, so who's the Colts have for a quarterback? They would make most sense.
They're going
for
to
him
draft
go
somebody,
over.
dum-dum.
See? Boom. Matt Ryan is no good.
They're going
He is-
either after Stroud or Young.
Yes, but why go with somebody that you know is unproven? Because let's be
No,
fair,
you
even if they go with Bryce Young, the track record for quarterbacks that have come out of the University of Alabama into the NFL hasn't always been that great.
Ooh. What's the Pat?
I'm just listening to the argument between the two of you.
How about Las Vegas Raiders? How about their car?
Well,
Nate?
Derek Carr's in New Orleans,
Uh-huh.
and if Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't win a Super Bowl in San Francisco, he's not going to win one in Las Vegas.
Are you saying that his host, or are you saying that his offensive coordinator in New England all those years won't bring him a Super Bowl title?
Yes, because I'm
Ooh.
saying Josh McDaniels can't coach his way out of a brown paper bag. That's why he can't stay on a team long enough.
Well, he is still the coach.
Because what other choices would they have? Sean Payton was the only other choice they had, and he went to Denver.
All right. I mean, he ain't gonna help Russell Wilson.
You know, I mean, and that's kind of funny, you know, that you bring up Denver. You know, what team in their right fucking mind would
Yeah.
trade away 2 number 1 draft picks for a washed up quarterback, and then the very next year, the following 2 years that they have number 1 picks, they trade away to get a coach that, you know what, has been washed up.
Uh-huh.
And then they let go their best defensive player to sign with Seattle in the offseason.
That Denver Broncos won't be that good. Since what? Since
You know,
week?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they've lost their number 1 picks for the next 3 years now.
Since week?
And to be fair, Russell Wilson is over the hill anyway, right? Regardless of what coach, what kind of coordinator you put him with, the man's not going to do good anymore.
That's right. And then he's over the hills and through the woods, and he's off to his grandmother's house. He goes.
Since
Well,
week?
the only house he has to answer to is his wife because she controls the purse strings anyway.
All I can say is Russell Wilson needs to hit the showers. He's done.
Uh-huh.
She won't let him be done.
How much money Russell Wilson makes than his wife?
He's her sugar daddy. Yes, she's a singer, but she needs him to bring in the majority of the money.
Well, this is kind of true considering that they probably have a multi-million-dollar house that they're paying on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than one.
You know, speaking of sugar mommies, on Tuesday, Nathan's sugar mommy will be live on the show with us.
Ooh.
Hey, when you got looks like this, you can have more than one.
Oh, so he finally admits it that she's finally his sugar mommy after weeks of denying it.
Hey, I can't fight it I can't fight it anymore.
I think in that case, he deserves his host spot back.
Nah, he hasn't earned it back yet. Big Money Dodge said so.
Again, I would wipe a
He
monkey's
the
butt with what I
co-host.
hope that big money Dodge thinks.
He's the co-host, Pat. You're right.
What about me?
You're host.
Oh.
So, Nick.
Wait, whoa, hold on, Stanley. You might want to rethink that last statement. If you're the host and she's your better half, shouldn't she be the host and you be whatever you are?
That's what he just said. He gave the powers to her.
That's straight. What Tony said, think.
So wait, if
Can you
he's
hear?
the host and I'm the co-host, then what the hell does that make you?
Me? Read
No,
the title.
Stanley.
What? I can hear you, Nick.
That makes him the co-host host.
Boom.
I agree with that. Paul said you were the compost.
Oh.
Oh. Ouch.
Well, I'm not going to argue that either.
By the way, if that's the truth, Marissa, you might want to get like a boat oar to shovel all the shit that Stanley piles up behind you.
Yeah. In fact, I like that so much that
Oh.
Yeah. See, the thing is, you guys consider that to be an insult.
Oh, what's wrong, Nick? You speechless now?
No, please, I'm never speechless.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. Co-host, compass.
Compost.
Compost.
Yeah, you guys think that's an insult, but isn't it the saying that shit always rises to the top? Thank you very much.
all right, so let's get back on topic here.
Yep. Let's see here.
So, yes, that's
Let-
where I
let-
think. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh no. I wouldn't want to take care of the deflating ego of our illustrious host.
I don't have an ego. You can't have an ego when you know you're this good.
I would comment to that, but I'm gonna stay neutral on that comment.
No. This whole staying neutral stuff ain't gonna happen. You gotta play the game, man.
The only problem with that, Nathan, you can't play the game with me when I know the game too well.
Really? You know Triple H?
He can't even play the game better than me.
We're not talking about Monopoly or Candyland or Sorry.
Wait, what? Oh! I'm
Triple
not
H
saying where?
has nothing against me.
Really? So you know for a fact that Triple H has nothing against you.
Nope.
No, you do, or no, you don't.
No, he doesn't. And the only reason I know that is I met his wife.
Well, that's not saying much. I'm pretty sure a lot of men have met his wife at one point or another.
Yeah, didn't Tess meet his wife at one time or another?
Yep. And look at where that got him.
It's not dead.
Let's see here. Talk about NBA basketball. Let's talk about basketball.
Oh, good grief.
Well, let's talk about the basketball scene right now, Stanley.
NBA playoffs. What do you think about the playoffs right now? You think Golden State might come back game 2?
No,
versus
because they can't win on the road.
let's see. Versus
I think,
Sacramento Kings.
yeah. My opinion is the NBA playoffs need to be banded because it's messing up AEW TV.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Clippers took down Phoenix Suns with KD on Suns.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
look who the Clippers were playing.
Well, he is right.
Any
They
team
are
is
playing
better
the
than
Suns
the
with
Suns.
Kevin Durant.
With CP3.
Come on, seriously?
Chris
CP3
Paul.
can't win in the playoffs. He proved that in Houston. He's proving it again in Phoenix. Look at the team they set up for him in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the team they've set up for him in Phoenix. He can't win in the playoffs.
You're thinking those LA Lakers, LeBron, James will be going back in championship finals?
Well,
Not this
I
year.
don't think
Not
the
this year.
Lakers have the enough defense to play.
I don't
to
know.
go
They won
far enough.
128 to 112 tonight.
Yeah, but they won't make the play. They won't make the finals. Why? Because they're missing one piece, and they'll get that next year.
And the team I think is going to win the NBA championship is Milwaukee.
Oh.
Again, Milwaukee lost today. And
Yeah, well, that's why it's a 5 or 7 game series.
right.
That's game 7.
But they're going to have a tough time playing the Heat.
And Miami Heat that good.
I don't know. To me, the Miami Heat are too hot and cold.
Brooklyn Nets versus Philadelphia 76ers.
76ers.
Sixers are going to sweep them.
Game 2. Monday night.
Warriors and Kings.
Golden State at Sacramento Kings.
Again, like I said earlier, Golden State can't win on the road.
Nope. Let's
And
see.
again, how sad does this sound not having your Blazers in the playoffs, Stanley?
Oh, crap.
Yeah,
And as much as I'm a
And-
Blazers fan,
And how sad is it going to be when Dame goes next year?
bye-bye.
I think 50-50 on that.
Oh no.
I think
Oh,
it's
no,
like
no, 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 no.
70%.
Oh, no,
Maybe
no,
even
no, no.
80%.
Damian Lillard's new home is the yellow and purple.
Lakers?
Either
No,
the
I
yellow
don't think
and-
it'll be.
either-
I think it's going to be
Either
the
the
Knicks.
yellow and purple, or Golden State. He's going to California. He's going home.
Oh. Go back with
He's going home.
Where's if
I
we
wouldn't be
trade,
surprised if he ends up on the Clippers.
yeah,
No, Tony.
If
I
we
think Tony's
trade
right. He
Steph
wants
Curry-
to go back to Oakland,
He wants to go home.
so he'll probably play for the Warriors, and then that'll make the Warriors the championship team again.
if he
Because
was
you're forgetting. Lillard doesn't have to play the point. He can
Nope.
play the shooting. He can play the two.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Clay can play the small forward spot.
And Curry
God.
can still play.
I'm a
And
scary
Curry
team
can
right
play
there.
the two also. You're all forgetting that.
I'd be scary team right there.
And Klay
Dang.
Thompson, you can move to a forward. You don't need him as a shooting guard. You can put him at the 3. You can put him at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How about this
and I
kid?
guarantee you, if you put Clay Thompson as a 4, there's no power forward in the league that can guard him at the 3-point line.
He shoot lights out threes. You know what Steph Curry always does? He don't jump. He stands still shoot threes.
Can you imagine that though? If and when Damian goes to Oakland,
Oh God.
between him and Curry, they would never go above half court. They just keep shooting the 3-pointers from the logo.
The only thing you're gonna have to worry about is who's gonna score 50 points first.
Steph
if they-
or Dame.
They might be the first teammates to score 50 points in the same game.
Let's see. How about Nurkic? Where did he would go?
Who?
Nurkic,
Oh, Nurt.
I think he'll go back to Denver.
Ooh. Nuggets. How about this kid, sharpshooter? He doing good.
I think Shaden Sharp is going to stay in Portland because I think Portland's going to want,
He's
if
gonna-
Damian leaves, they're going to want to build the team around Shaden Sharp.
Yep.
Sharp's gonna be the 2. Anthony is gonna be the 1. That's
Yep.
gonna be your new guards.
How about that coach?
Billups is gone.
Yeah, Chauncey Billups is gone. I think Chauncey Billups is checked out already based
What
on
team-
the last press conference he gave.
Yeah. What
Hence
team
the
will be
fans.
on?
Hence the fact Chauncey's gone, Dame's gone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The only way, and it's a very slim chance, that the Blazers keep Damian Lillard is if they open up their pocketbook and massively overspend for like a couple of superstars. And I mean mega superstars.
Jimmy Butler or Brown on the Celtics.
Yeah, but the problem is nobody, because of how much we've been losing, nobody's going to want to come to Portland. Look
Yeah.
at last year. Damon tried to convince Kevin Durant to come to Portland.
Yeah.
He had all those like pre-made like Facebook posts with Katie in a Blazers uniform.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing, Stan, you're really seeming to forget here is Jamie Allen or Jody Allen's already selling the team.
Oh.
That
Yeah,
trust
boy.
is only set up for 2 to 3 years for the Seahawks and the Blazers.
Mhm.
They're both up for sale.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we don't know who the new owners are going to be, and we don't know how much they're going to want to spend. Hopefully, it's more than what she's been willing to spend.
And that also doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stay in Portland.
True.
That's a valid point.
The Blazers could get what happened to the good old Sonics when they sold the team to Oklahoma City.
And you know, if the Blazers leave, I do know that Vegas has been very keen on having a franchise.
Well, I mean, the NBA is going to expand before the NFL does. So I mean, Vegas will get their team. I mean, even with Portland staying or going, Vegas will get their team.
And Seattle will get their team again.
Well, Seattle's going to be the first one to get their team in the expansion.
But Stanley, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm a Blazers fan too, and I love Damian Lillard, I have to agree with Tony on this one. Dame's out of there.
Game time will be gone.
Once they fired Chauncey,
They will be gone.
there's no keeping Dame.
Nope.
I'll tell you what told me that, other than the fact that it's kind of obvious. During an interview with Stephen A. Smith on Stephen A's World, Damian said, "I'm loyal to Portland, but I want to win."
Mhm.
So if he's loyal to Portland, that's fine. But I don't know if he's going to want to go through another losing season again if
No.
he truly wants to win. And hey, Dakota, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Duncan Haynes? What's up, bro? You got about Blazers stats?
See, Dakota, I have to disagree with you on that. Chauncey is leaving because To me, he's checked out. Yeah, at the end of the season, he literally told the reporters, "I'm glad it's over."
Hey, not that problem.
You're right. He's not the sole problem, but he is part of the problem. And you know as well as I do, in professional sports, when a team starts to struggle, it's the coach that goes first.
Not necessarily. Look at the Seahawks.
Fair point.
Or Broncos.
Well,
Broncos.
that the Broncos is still lost their coach, although he was doing a horrible job. Well, yes, but in the same interview, Dakota, he did say he was glad that the season was over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got a valid point there, too. If they were going to fire him, they would have already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is a good point. But I think if they lose this coming up season, which will probably be Damien's last season in Portland, I think we can all agree with that. Then Chauncey would more than likely be fired. Because that would be 3 seasons without making it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Who else?
No, I think the fans are happy that the season is over, Dakota. I think towards the end they were it was kind of hard to watch.
I would say this.
Mean, hell, in one of our last games, we got beat by 50 points.
We got injuries. Hey. Injuries. I seen game.
Yeah, they had injuries, but I mean, it was still hard to watch at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, Shaden Sharp was balling as like crazy, but nobody else really was.
Yeah.
Reggie.
Yes, sir. It will build around Dean. I know.
Only if the ownership's willing to spend money, and they haven't shown that yet.
Let's see here. NBA playoffs is halfway, almost over. And
no, they're still in the first round. They still have quite a bit of.
I agree with what Dakota says. Big move is coming.
There are some big moves coming.
Hey, Dakota, I have one question for you. We think about Dame and Butler. Jimmy Butler come to town.
Well, I mean, we don't even know what Butler's contract status is in Miami.
Jimmy Butler? What is it? I'd prefer Tim Brown over Butler. I agree with that. Boston Celtics.
I wouldn't mind having Brown either, but do you think the Celtics would let him go? I mean,
King
if
died.
he goes, then who's gonna pick up the slack next to Jason Tatum? Unless you count Pritchard, but
Good grief, bud. Everyone moved over there.
yeah, I know he sounded like he wouldn't come back, but I mean, when you're in a city like Boston and you have such a storied franchise, you know, like Boston, and you still miss the playoffs, you're gonna have a thought process
Your
of,
mouth
well,
stuff.
maybe I don't want to come back. Maybe I need to see what other places
There you go.
are.
I remember that.
And as far as like Jimmy Butler in Miami goes,
What's up?
would you really want to leave Miami for Portland? No offense to Portland.
Is it Jimmy Butler? Ooh. No. Yes. That could agree.
Okay, so
Portland built Bird
To win.
built Bird to win.
that I
agree.
agree with. Because other than Jimmy Butler, Miami's best player is Bam Adebayo.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna say it, Sam. Not gonna say it.
So my question to you guys is this: if we're talking basketball, where do you think, if anywhere, Ben Simmons is gonna go?
Ben Simmons? I got a question. I want to see him come to Portland. I know.
That would be a nasty team, Dakota. But do you really think that the Miami Heat would get rid of both Butler and Adebayo? That would be a completely rebuild for the
Ben
for the
Simmons
Heat. And
equals
as far as
free
Ben
agent.
Simmons coming to Portland, I don't think that would work because he doesn't fit the scheme, right? Portland's a 3-point shooting team, and Big Simmons can't hit a 3-pointer to the broadside of a bar.
But to be fair, you can't hit a 3-pointer from the broadside of the barn either, Nathan.
You're absolutely right. I can't.
And neither can Stanley.
Hey, so you, sir.
Hey, I can hit 1 out of 3. How many can you hit?
107.
Almost hit one last season.
You were on the other side of the 3-point range. That was not a 3-point shot, Stanley. Kellen can do better than you.
And apparently so can Dakota because he wrote, I can.
And I can
Well,
attest to
that's
and I can attest to that. I've seen him. So
next basketball season, let's pit Stanley against Dakota in a 3-point shootout.
Ooh.
I'd take Dakota hands down.
So did I.
If we put Dakota up against Stanley in a shootout, that'd be like Brock Lesnar fighting a Muppet.
I go Dakota. I have to go Dakota on it.
Ouch.
See, even your woman's picking Dakota on that one, Stanley.
Ouch.
By the way, Stanley, who beat you in a game of bump anyways?
Oh, you don't. I'm not talking about that. Heck no.
You lost.
What's the matter, Stanley? You get a little red there.
First one. Not
Stanley
second.
lost a game of bump against me.
And then the second one he lost against Callan.
Lost him one time. Second one, I lost by him. I was
And-
lucky shot, by the way.
Dakota was on his college basketball team. Oh, this is the most quiet I've seen Stanley this whole podcast.
Hey,
Oh, I
hey.
know.
All right, let's see here. We talk about
Wow,
court.
you turned a nice shade of red, Stanley. It'll match the top of your head pretty soon.
Oh,
I'm not helping you there, Stanley.
So I'll put this way. I know y'all here still. Dakota. I will say Oregon State Bees going 2 for 2 next season. College football. My Bees take down your Oregon Ducks.
You know what's the only thing that's gonna be good about the Oregon Beavers this football season, Stanley, is the new stadium they're gonna have.
I knew it will come back around October.
Stanley? Oh, I don't think so.
I agree with that on Dakota. I also don't.
Think so.
I think Tommy and I is going to have the best college team this year.
Well, see, I'm kind of out of the boat on this one. I don't really follow college football that much.
See, Stanley's a beaver. Dakota's a duck.
I'm also
Nope, I'm leaving
And
that one
Tommy
alone.
and I are UCLA Bruins.
Oh,
I thought you
why?
got to Pac-12, sir.
Why?
Hold up. Pat,
Oh,
I thought UCLA and USC are leaving this year. Go Big Ten.
He does have a point.
Because
But
you
said UCLA, Stanley, not USC.
UCLA
Pat said-
UCLA UCLA and USC are leaving to Pac-12. Oh, not next year. All right,
That's next year.
I'm 2025.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong on this, but isn't Chip Kelly the coach of the Brewers or the Bruins
Yes, sir.
at UCLA?
Yes, sir. He is.
So, are the Bruins that bad that they have to get the Ducks floppy seconds?
Oh.
Hey, they may be bad now. Because like Tommy said, never count out the underdog.
Well, I mean,
We're not
but to make
talking
it
about
even worse,
cartoons,
but to make it even worse, though, it's Oregon sloppy seconds and a NFL head coach that couldn't even make it in the NFL.
Thank you.
Ouch. Ah.
And if the Bruins don't do anything for me, I have my backup.
Who's that?
Wolverines,
Oh, boy.
Michigan.
Another team that has a washed-up NFL head coach.
Tony Super 2 on that one.
Don't
Manning
need
is better.
And to be perfectly honest here, I never liked Chip Kelly in Oregon. I never liked Jim Harbaugh in the NFL. So I'm
Yep. And yes, Dakota, Dan Lanning is better in Oregon, and I think that's why Oregon's going to be a pretty good team this year.
Yeah, I do
You know,
agree.
now that he has a full season to
Hold up there. Hold up. You see, I cut the bird? Who is rebuilding? Who is that rebuilt?
think about this,
okay.
Stanley.
Hold on here, Nathan. I like to wheel and deal.
Oh, shit.
Stanley, how confident are you that the Ducks are actually going to win the Pac-12 next year?
Wouldn't Stanley be rooting for the Beavers, not the Ducks?
Or I'm sorry, the Ducks. Yes. How confident are you the Ducks will be, or the Beavers will win the Pac-12?
I will say they are coming along because
That's
Okay,
not.
okay, but how confident are you they're going to win the Pac-12 next year?
again we are
Are you-
coming back stronger.
Yes or no?
Are
Are
you-
you confident that they're
are
going to
you-
win the Pac-12?
Yes.
Let me put it to you
Yes.
this way: are you as confident as Nathan was with his WrestleMania picks and had to wear a dress?
Oh crap! Hell no! No! Nope!
Oh, I see.
Nope! I'm not
Now
doing that
your
way.
loyalty to the Beavers is dropping because if you seriously thought they would win the Pac-12, you would make the bet.
No!
Or okay, here. Maybe not a dress, but how about this? If they don't win the Pac-12 championship in football this year, you have to wear Ducks gear all year.
Oh crap!
I agree.
All year.
How confident are you, Stanley?
Ooh.
And remember, Dakota is on this podcast and can back this up.
And I can back it up too.
I agree.
like that
You have
bet.
to, Stanley.
What do you
How
think,
confident are
Stanley?
you, Stanley?
Ball's in your court now.
I take that deal. I don't care. I
All
take
right,
that.
you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the deal.
I have the gear. Oh!
And Stanley, we're getting popular. There's a lot of people that just heard that or will hear that when they watch it on YouTube.
All right. I'll put it this way. If my Beavs make it to Pac-12 championship, because I heard rumors about Tony Smith is rebuilding Oregon State franchise like he did last year and the year before. Built that home stadium and built that team. Win 6 in a row at home. What you say, sir?
That means you have to
Hey,
wear
but
it in public
that doesn't
too.
matter.
Yep,
You made
I
the
agree,
bet.
Dakota.
Yeah, I agree.
No. That was the bet. He has to wear Ducks anytime he goes out, and he's going to wear a Beaver shirt. He has to replace that with a Duck shirt all year long.
And that includes a hat, by the way, not just the.
I would take all your Beaver hats and hide them.
Nope, there's no hiding that. I heard that.
No, she
Yeah,
said
no hiding.
the
I'll
Beaver,
take them and
the Beaver stuff.
put them somewhere else.
No,
Oh,
she
okay.
said she'll hide the Beaver stuff, Nathan.
Okay, and if you can't, I'll help with that.
Oh, crap.
Okay. You're gonna lose the bet.
Oh. Oregon State got a. I would say Oregon State and Oregon will be good.
So I did have a point on the
now you're
Ducks head coach,
retracting.
though, Stanley.
Hmm.
So you said there's no way that he would be a better coach than Oregon State. But think about 2 years ago. Wasn't he the defensive coordinator for Georgia who had the best defense in college football?
Who you talking about? Tony Smith?
No,
He was.
Lanning.
Oh, him? Ah.
2 years ago, he was at Georgia as the defensive coordinator, and they had the
Yeah.
top-ranked defense. And so my thought is, now that he has a full season in Oregon to establish his thing, his scheme,
Yeah.
there's a chance that you might be wearing some Duck gear, buddy.
And to make that twofold, didn't they win the national championship?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Didn't think about that part, did you, Stanley, before you made the bet?
I'm screwed. Thanks.
You see, Tony's not as stupid as he thinks. You can't stump me on Georgia sports, dude.
Yeah, no.
Dakota says Larissa, Dakota says to bring the beaver stuff to his house and he'll hide it. Or
Yeah,
he'll burn
he'll
it.
hide it. He'll burn it.
Yikes!
There is no hiding it.
There.
I just hope a beaver's not an endangered species if he's gonna burn all the stuff with it.
Ducks went 12 to 11-2 in Land's first year.
How about us here, sir?
That was
That's
last
what he's
year,
saying.
wasn't
They
it?
were 11-2 last year.
Oh yeah.
That's normal.
Look, you're getting turning redder and redder the more we talk about this, Stanley. Starting to get a little worried already, are you?
Oh, shit.
I'm texting Dakota.
I mean, to be honest, Nathan, you were pretty confident too until that illustrious battle royal on that Friday night SmackDown when you knew you lost. I mean, he didn't
take all the responsibility in the world for that. I made the biggest mistake in the world on that one. You should never pick a wrestling match until you know who's all in it. That's a valid point.
Very
the Ducks
valid.
went 11-2 with Bo Nix as their quarterback, and he is coming back for
Don't
next
check
season.
my phone. Hey, you can look at my phone if you dare.
Wow, Stanley is awfully quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, shit.
And this is the biggest bet of Stanley's life too, man. It used to be just here or there. This is the entire year that he has to wear Duck stuff.
See, and I believe the last time I checked our YouTube channel, Stanley, we had 36 to 40 subscribers.
Whew.
Not to mention their subscribers that'll be notified. So there's a lot of people that know about this bet now. So it's not just the four of us. Well, 5 if you count Dakota.
Oh, where's Alyssa?
See Oregon State. Unless it is.
She has duck stuff, Stanley.
See Beaver as well.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure she would admit that you're probably going to lose that bet.
Uh-huh. See.
All your clothes of beavers are going bye-bye.
Nah.
To Dakota. I will. I lose.
See, we could have been really mean and made him do the push-ups like the Oregon Duck mascot does after the Oregon scores a touchdown.
I'm sure that.
Oh. I'm sure there will be often.
Oh yes, that's right. I do like to brag when people lose their bets. Just ask our illustrious host.
Yep.
Ah.
So what do you think, Dakota? Should we have him do the push-ups too?
Hey, let's do push-ups.
Let's see if Dakota says something.
Go on, sir. Push-ups.
Please say yes. And then I'll put it on Facebook. No.
Nah, that's too mean.
It would have to be one or the other.
No. And we all know how much Stanley loves his Beavers gear. This is perfect. This is torture enough for him. I actually agree.
The question is, Stanley likes to make videos during the college football season.
Hey, I tried doing my podcast, sir.
So if this happens, does he still have to make the videos in the Ducks gear too?
Yep.
Hey, Stanley, just be
That
quiet.
means no beaver shorts at practice,
You having
Stanley.
to dye your beard.
That means no beaver shorts at practice.
Oh, you can't even wear them to practice.
It's no Beavers gear for a year.
Period.
I'll be giving them to Dakota. All of it.
Hey, Stanley, at least Tony didn't think about having you dye your beard yellow.
Oh, crap.
I don't know if
You know
Stanley
what?
can pull off
I
a
can always
blonde
put
bush.
I can always put stipulations in this too. You know, I can still. I'm the ultimate person with stipulations too.
Okay, let's think about who thinks Stanley can pull off a blonde beard.
No.
That's red beard,
It's
sir.
not. It's not even. It's not even a blonde beard. No.
Hey, red beard, sir.
Not if you dyed it, you wouldn't.
So you're still that confident even wearing Beavers gear, right?
Oh crap.
Well, how about we sweeten this just a teensy bit more?
All right, go ahead.
No facial hair for that year either.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
I was back out. Yikes.
Actually, we should probably ask Larissa what he thinks about that. Oh, Wesley's
here's
on.
Wesley. Okay, now we got to get serious, guys. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
How are you doing today?
Good, Wesley. How are you?
Wonderful. Sorry I'm late again. How's everybody doing?
Good. How about
Good,
you?
and it's all right. It happened.
Yeah, my email didn't alert me that it was 7:00.
Got ya. So, let's talk about the sports that you play on Special Olympics.
The sports I play on Special Olympics are basketball. I usually do cycling, but this season I'm doing soccer. I do golf and bowling.
Nice.
That's nice.
And yes, I want to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I've been doing it for 21 years now.
Wow.
You had a question?
No, one of the people in our chat, Tony Flanagan, is going to be on tomorrow, and that's all he said is he'll be on the podcast tomorrow. And yes, we're looking very much forward to that. So, I heard you went on the Jericho cruise back in February.
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That was an experience. So I traveled from SeaTac to Miami, where the ship was docked. And the first day it was pretty much check-in and all of that stuff. And later in the evening there was matches going on the boat. There was, if you know AEW, do you guys know anything about AEW, the wrestling company?
Yeah.
So there was a match between the Gun Club and Top Flight.
Ooh.
Billy Gunn's sons, Colton and Austin Gunn.
Yep.
And then Dante Martin and Darius Martin. So it was 2 brother tag teams.
Very interesting.
And it was actually a really, really good match. The Guns won that match via cheating, which they're heels, so wasn't surprised. But it was about a 15 to 20 minute match. So it could have been like a main event. And then there was Jay Lethal and Moose on that
Ooh.
show also. And then Willow Nightingale faced Hikaru Shida. And that was another really good match, about a 10-minute match, and Shida won that match. And then there was like karaoke going on, and Nyla Rose dressed up in a shark outfit and sang Baby Shark. That was pretty funny. Just
That's pretty
random
funny.
spontaneous things like that. And there was opportunities to go to meet and greets and get things signed, autograph sessions, photo sessions. And then you could like talk to them while they were walking around the ship. So they were just basically, it was, you felt like you were a part of their culture while you were on that boat. It was really, really cool.
Very cool. Did you get a chance to meet any of the wrestlers?
I did. I actually got to have lunch one day with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti.
Nice.
Or as she's known now as Ty Mello.
Yeah.
Because the restaurant was so full. It was funny. I didn't even realize who they were when they sat down until I looked up, and I was like, holy crap. So I got to have like a 20-minute conversation with them about just everything. So it was really, really cool.
Well, count me as being a little bit jealous on that one.
And then I got to meet the one I was looking forward to meeting most, and that was Christopher Daniels.
Ooh.
Because I really wanted to ask him a few questions about his team SCU, and before that in TNA as Bad Influence, and like how all of that came about. And he had a really cool story about that.
Yeah, that's something you and I have in common. I actually met Christopher Daniels also down here in Longview when he was doing a show for ECCW.
Oh, nice. He's so cool, isn't he?
Very much so. So I know when we were talking, you said you're really big on like the 1960s, like, wrestling.
Yeah, I know history back to like the Gorgeous George era all the way till now.
Nice. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's a lot of knowledge to keep, straight, because I know quite a bit, but I don't even know if I know all the way back to like the Gorgeous George.
I always like being quizzed on questions. It's always fun for me because it gets my brain working.
Yeah. There's a lot of like wrestling trivia games like online and stuff. That's how I keep my mind going sometimes when I'm not doing the podcast.
Oh yeah, I do those a lot, and I get like 98% on a lot of them, and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting till one gives me 50%, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm getting out of it. I need to learn more.
And then you also said that you were big in the Seattle wrestling scene.
Oh yes, I know a lot of local wrestlers also through that community. Um,
Have you ever seen any of like the Defy shows? Because I know
yes,
they
I
run
have.
shows.
Those are really fun. I actually ran into Swerve at one. Shane
Oh, huh.
Strickland.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I have to ask this for my executive producer. Da- Have you ever ran into Moxley at any of those Defy shows?
Not at Defy, but there was one where he made a surprise appearance where I had no idea where he was going to show up because I thought it was way too small of a show. It was the company's not in business anymore. Um it was called um World Underground Wrestling. It was actually in Bremerton, Washington.
Got ya.
And there was a lot of there was a he was actually he attacked one of the original Leatherface who performed in FMW, if you know what that organization is in Japan.
I do know what that is in Japan.
Yeah. So he attacked that guy and they were setting up a match.
Nice.
So
I
it
can
was
see that.
just a random spur appearance I never expected to happen. And I got to meet him there.
Cool. And those are the fun ones when you don't expect it.
Yeah, because I was like able to go backstage because I was like doing a seminar, which is kind of like training in the ring, doing a class, and I did not see him all day. So that was just like, I didn't see him all day today. When did he show up?
So you
So that
just
was
said
crazy.
you've been to a couple of the seminars. Can you tell us a little bit what those are like? Because you hear about them a lot now.
So a seminar is where you can go in and you could pay to take a class that's taught by a wrestler. Like the one I did was by two guys who wrestle in Japan, Ricky Fuji and Master Fugo, through World Underground Wrestling. And you learn how to run the ropes, take bumps, like do sequences, like learn how to do maneuvers safely. So basically, getting in the ring and learning if you want to get into the sport or not.
Very cool. Pat, do
And
you
I'll
have any
tell you,
questions? Oh,
there was
sorry.
one part that was not fun, and that's taking those knife edge chops. Because we all had to line up in the corner and take a chop from each of the people who was doing the class. And there was about 15 people in that class.
Ouch.
So taking 15 straight chops from 15 different people, and then you had to do it to the next person. And then you had to go again. So, yeah. That was the part that was not fun, but it was an all around good experience.
Yeah, but I've had to do a chop line, which is what that's called, and to me, after like 10 of them, my chest went numb, so it didn't really bother me that bad.
Yeah, it was like, but we got ones from the like teachers, and their Japanese style ones. Those hurt.
I would imagine they're not gonna pull any punches.
No, they're strong styles. So yeah, no fun. What were you asking? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just seeing if Pat had any questions.
I was going to ask him, but now I can't remember the question. So go ahead.
So you said you've been to the seminars, or do you just go to like learn the basics, or are you thinking about getting in the ring, or?
I'm looking into getting into classes to do like refereeing. Because I don't want to be a full-blown wrestler, but I want to be like up close like that. And
Well,
I think reffing would be a fun job.
yes. Then I would recommend that maybe you listen to tomorrow's podcast, because that Tony Flanagan is a referee. So maybe, he'll have some stories or some advice that you might find beneficial.
Awesome. Is it okay if I ask a question? I always like asking this question.
Yeah, that's fine. You can ask whatever you want.
Does anybody know who the original Nature Boy was? There was 3.
Well, there was the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, Nature Boy
That's
Ric
one.
Flair.
Yep, 2.
I had the third one and I lost it.
Does anybody else know?
Buddy Landell.
You got it. Do you know who the original one was first?
Buddy Rogers.
Correctamundo. Good job. I always like asking that question.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Because people always like asking me questions like that to really get my brain working, and it's always fun for me to ask that question.
That's a good one.
Because a lot of people think there was only one. They only remember Ric Flair.
Right. And
So.
I think if I remember right, Buddy Landell just did it because he was ticked off at Ric Flair. And it was a way to keep that rivalry going back and forth.
Yep.
Wasn't Buddy Landell teamed with Wildfire Tommy Rich back at that time? So
he was.
Although, to be fair, I think Ric Flair is going to go down as the most recognizable Nature Boy, even though he wasn't. In fact, Ric Flair actually wanted to be one of his original character he wanted to play was Dusty Rhodes' cousin.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing that. That was really fun.
But Vern Gagne looked at him and said, "There ain't no way that's happening, buddy."
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question now.
No problem. Go ahead.
Out of these 4 stars back in the day, who had the better finisher? Ric Flair, Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff?
That's a hard question. For me, I would have to say Nikita Koloff.
I would have to agree with that.
I would have to say Magnum TA. The way he can pull off that belly to belly.
Okay, I see that, but I think Shane Douglas does a better belly to belly, which is similar to the one that Magnum TA did. But when Nikita hit the Russian sickle, it looked like he ripped the guy's head off.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Nikita Koloff had a sick finisher.
Oh yeah, that
That clothesline.
that lariat was nasty.
And to be fair, without Nikita Koloff bringing that to the forefront, you wouldn't have gotten moves like the clothesline from hell or
Yep.
Stuff like that. Like you brought up Dusty Rhodes. Dustin, you wouldn't have had Dustin's lariat without the sickle because, that kind of set up, a clothesline being a finisher.
I do. Speaking of lariats, I do have a kind of the same question as Pat. Who had the better lariat? Was it Nikita Koloff, Stan Hansen, or JBL?
God, to me, that's a three-way tie.
No, I would have to go with Stan Hansen because anybody that can knock down Big Van Vader with just a clothesline tells me he's had to have one hell of a lariat. So that would put him a little bit ahead of everybody else. Because anybody that knows, Vader didn't go down very easy.
Yeah, Stan Hansen was next level with that lariat. It
Plus,
just
he had the look. Yeah.
JBL in his original character when he came to the WWF was trying to be like a Stan Hansen copy. And then I guess Stan Hansen called him and said, I know exactly what you're doing. That crap's not going to fly.
Well,
that's when he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was trying to be a Stan Hansen or a Blackjack Mulligan, Texas Outlaws combination.
Yeah, it was. And he got a call from Stan and he was like, that crap's not going to fly. Change it. So he went to just Bradshaw.
Well, and the thing is, if I would have gotten a call from Stan Hansen saying, stop using my move, I would have stopped using his move too.
Oh, he said the move was fine, but just like, stop copying my gimmick.
Yeah, I can see that. Although that didn't stop Vince McMahon from putting that on other people.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh boy.
So let's talk about some current day stuff. What do you think about this whole Endeavor WWE merger?
It could go. I guess it could go. From what standpoint?
Well, I mean, do you think we all know it's probably going to be successful, but do you think Vince McMahon's going to stay away as far as creative goes? Like they keep saying he's gonna?
I think since he came back and that Raw was so bad,
Amen to that.
the Endeavor was not happy with how everything was. So, like, I think he's going to have to step back, or they will still not let him be on payroll.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be hard to get Vince McMahon to step back as far as they're going to need it. And the SmackDown after that Raw, which Tony and I were at, wasn't much better. I mean, the atmosphere was awesome, but the matches were way too short.
Yeah, even watching it from home, I pretty much had to turn it off.
Yeah. I went to the Raw on April 10th. That was in Seattle. And that one, in my opinion, it wasn't WWE's fault. There was travel issues.
Yeah.
But the show, the Raw, just sucked.
Well, at least you guys got the Trish Stratus heel turn.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. And the part that made me laugh at Raw the most was, I know people like hate the Dominic and Ray storyline.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people do not like it. Like, they don't think it's necessary in some ways. But I think it's been so good for Dominic's career because it's gotten him to step out of his father's shadow.
Yep. In fact, that was the funniest thing at the SmackDown, too, because he got booed out of the building. Legitimately.
But I've always been kind of the Dominic Mysterio fanboy, while everybody else has been like with the Ray, all of that stuff. I'm always like, I'm more into the heel type stuff. I always like criticize that. Like, how can they be better at? How can they get more heat with the crowd?
Got ya.
But what made me really, really laugh was when Dominic actually clocked Ray with the chain.
Yeah.
That actually kind of made me laugh. I was like, that's such an Eddie move. Ray should have known better. Like,
the only thing that would have made it better is if like it would have been a match and he would have hit Ray with it and then like threw the chain down and laid down like Eddie did, with before the referee got back up.
Yeah. But that just made me laugh. But my friend who was with me was like, that's not funny. I'm like, it's just funny to me.
And that's all that matters. As long as you were entertained and you guys had a good conversation off of
it. But the matches before Raw, April 10th, were so good. The main event matches. The main event matches saw Zoe Stark go up against Nikki Cross.
Ooh.
That was about a 10-minute match. And Nikki Cross won that match, which I felt she needed that win. Zoe Stark is coming up, and she's ready for the main roster. I believe she is. Like, they should call her up soon, because she's ready.
Yeah, I think they want to give her one run with the NXT title because she's been focusing so much on, like, this isn't fair. I haven't had a a shot yet thing. Hopefully they finish that off first before they call her up.
But also the match that really stole the show that night, that the crowd was super behind, was Tyler Bate went up against Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh. That would have been a match to see.
And oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat. That match almost, like, I'm such a passionate wrestling fan, that match almost brought me to tears. It was so good.
Nice. Yeah, on the SmackDown, we only got the pre-show before the show started because they don't do main event on before SmackDown. So all we got was Sonya Deville versus Tegan Nox. And then at the end, we got Dolph Ziggler versus Austin Theory and Solo Sikoa versus Matt Riddle.
But the finish to the Dolph and Tyler Bate match was so good. Tyler Bate hit that slingshot lariat. Ziggler
I love that move.
sold it to a T, and then he went to pick him up for the Tyler driver. He got him in that powerbomb position. Ziggler pushed off and hit the super kick and fell with one arm like the Shawn Michaels and got the 3.
Nice.
I was like, that was such a beautiful sequence. But the crowd was super behind Ziggler because they didn't really know who Tyler Bate was. But at the end, they were chanting, "This is awesome."
And I can see
like
why.
They were saying "Fight forever." Like it felt like a freaking NXT black and gold type match, if you remember that era.
I do remember that era. I think they should go back to that era.
But I said this should have been on Raw. Like, this should have been a Raw match.
Yeah, and you could have easily done that. You could have just said that Tyler Bate was up from NXT.
Yeah. And it would have stolen the night.
And it would have given Ziggler something to do on Raw. Because I don't even remember the last time he was on Raw.
Yeah, like so if you could ever find that main event episode or something, if it ever comes on, oh my god, you have to see that match.
I think main event for the fans that will see this later, I think that it's on Hulu.
Yeah. It was a beautiful match.
So you said that you want to be a referee and that you're going to take classes. So
because you have to go through training for it.
Yeah, have you looked into any classes in your area other than the seminars?
Yeah, but like the company somebody referred me to, like a day after I got referred and I was going to look into it, they came under investigation.
Oh.
Yeah. There was some stuff that was involving a minor, so I'm not associating myself with that.
No. I think I know we won't say him on here, but I think I know the promotion you were talking about.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Host, why don't you be a gracious host and say that you actually know a wrestling company that he can probably get his foot into as a referee? Or are you going to be too damn shallow to even admit that you know somebody that in the wrestling world that can probably help out your friend here? Mr. Host, get with it, man.
If you're talking about, are you talking about Squared Circle?
No, I'm not. That's in California. He's not going to go all the way to California to get trained. Come on, Nos. Use your damn head. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for our host, who's had a major brain fart today. Normally, we see the top of his little beady forehead, but I mean, tonight he actually tried to make it at least a little bit better. No, I'm talking about CWP, Combat Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Oh, Combat Pro Wrestling. I used
No.
to be down there for a while when they were in Seattle.
Yeah, that's a really good rockin' promotion. He actually don't let him be as shallow as he thinks he is. He actually knows the art of combat and actually knows the head referee of Combat Pro Wrestling, and he's keeping that in his damn back pocket. Shame on you. Shame on you for being a bad host and not helping your friend out here.
Step.
Yvonne Sieber is the person who runs it. I know her personally.
Yes, and we both know. Well, all three of us know one of the head referees.
That's awesome.
And you keep that in your back pocket from Mr. Wesley. How dare you? I apologize as the executive producer of this show. I need to find a better host for this show, man, obviously, because he's not treating his guests the correct way.
Well, technically, I'm not wearing pants, so where the hell am I going to find a pocket?
But, you know...
Pin drop.
You should
1, 2, 3.
You should also be the host with the most and actually ask him the questions that the fans really want to know. Who's the better wrestler turned actor?
Oh. That's a good question. A lot of people are going to be like, huh? But honestly, I think Maurice.
Interesting. We've asked that question to a lot of people, and you're honestly the first person that's answered with that answer.
Because I feel she was so underrated when she was first in WWE.
Yeah.
And then when she went to television, she actually stepped up a lot. Got so much more recognition. But she was so underrated when she was down in WWE the first time.
That is true, even though she was one of the Divas champions.
Yeah, I think she won it a couple times.
Although you're right, she was underrated as a wrestler, but if anybody watched that musical thing between her and The Miz for WrestleMania, she sure as hell can't sing.
Yes, she can.
She's a better singer than The Miz.
Well, come on, Pat. That's not setting the bar very high.
Come on, Pat. She's the better everything. I mean, as he says, doesn't she carry his balls in her pocket?
Well, technically, it's her purse.
My balls are massive.
Massive, my foot. You could fit him in a Tic Tac box.
Which brings me to another question, since he enjoys the heel battle so much, and we've had this argument on this podcast, I believe. You put Miz versus MJF in a mic only battle. Who wins?
Because, okay, this is going to be hard for me because I look at the overall persona, the actual person, not just their character and persona. I actually look at the person and the history in the company they have. So I think, honestly, I'm gonna have to go with I think The Miz. And my reasoning is MJF is hella good on the mic. Don't get me wrong. Like, he is next level. But I think because of the experience The Miz has working on just promos in general, and like he has the stuff outside of the wrestling business, he can pull that into play. I think that's the edge he has over MJF.
Good answer.
I can see that point, but the reason I would give MJF the edge over the Miz is the passion.
Shush! It's not about you.
We're not playing Alpha Academy, so you can't shush me.
I'm actually curious.
Is the passion that MJF brings to his promos. Like, whether you like him or not, he's gonna convey all the emotion and make you like pay attention to his promos. The Miz doesn't always do that for me.
There is actually, I think, a little bit of an argument there. And hear me out. Hear me out. Because if you look back on the Talking Smack interview with Daniel Bryan when he was the general manager, and he felt like he wasn't being utilized, the passion he had in that promo, I don't think that it's really hard to compare. I don't know.
Well, I see your point on that, but wasn't that the only argument I would have against that would be the only way the Miz had his most passionate promo was by having Daniel Bryan with him, where MJF can have that passionate of a promo looking into the camera.
I do see that point also. So it is really hard to determine on who would win in one of those.
It would definitely be entertaining.
I guess it just comes down to, like, if it ever happened, you know? Because there's so many arguments you could make that a fantasy would never be able to actually determine who would win in one of those.
And that's a very valid point. And if MJF has his way, though, in 2024, we might see that happen.
Yeah. And I'm hoping somehow that does happen. Even if it's MJF doesn't come for very long, like, I just want to see that happen.
Well, I don't know if Tony Khan, as a businessman, is gonna let MJF go. I think
I wouldn't.
I think Tony Khan realizes the golden goose, so to speak, that he has with MJF.
But you all seem to forget who really runs AEW. Is it Tony Khan or is it the EVPs?
Well, that's true. It's probably the EVPs primarily, but you seem to forget that the EVPs also played pretty nasty heels in their career too, so they would respect that from MJF more and wouldn't want to let him leave.
Well, they stabbed their best friend in the back.
Yeah, and look what their best friend's doing now. So obviously it didn't
Not
hurt
winning,
the best.
not winning the world championship. That's for damn sure.
Hey, that's a Vince McMahon mistake, not a elite Cody Rhodes mistake.
I think I have reasoning behind that. Maybe. Like, I always play out these different scenarios in my head, and I think I have a feeling on why that went down, why it did. Because if you remember one of Cody Rhodes's entrances, I don't remember what pay-per-view it was for AEW. But he took a sledgehammer and broke a throne.
It was the very first Double or Nothing. The
Yeah,
first
that's
pay-per-view
it.
they did.
And that was basically saying, I don't care about WWE anymore.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. I guess the only
And then he comes back and is looking for all of this given to him. And then if it's true that Vince McMahon came back, he was probably like, no. Remember what happened. We shouldn't give it to him now.
Here's another thing to think of with Vince McMahon, though. I think Vince McMahon still holds a grudge to Dusty for Dusty not agreeing to go to the WWE back in the 70s when Vince wanted him to go over there when Dusty went back to the NWA.
I don't think Vince would hold it against Dusty's kid, though.
No, I have to agree with that.
I'm not.
Okay. Here's a little caveat.
I mean, he's senile, but he's not that senile.
I mean, here's a little caveat to that. Endeavor took possession of WWE what day?
The day before WrestleMania.
Sorry, they took total control April 2nd. Night deuce of WrestleMania. Night 1 went as predicted, as Hunter predicted it.
Mm-hmm.
Night 2 didn't go the night that Hunter predicted it because Vince went and rewrote the entire Night 2 of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. And you guys could be right. He might not hold a grudge against this kid, but I actually think he would because he can't do anything to Dusty now because Dusty's gone. Rest in peace. But he's gone. He can't do anything to Dustin because Dustin's in AEW. So what better way to stick it finally to the Rhodes family than to keep Cody from winning the world title?
But again, I have to disagree with that.
With a paper champion as it is anyway. I mean, come on. Roman Reigns is no better than Brock Lesnar. I'll defend the title when I want to, not when I'm told to.
And think about this point. So, for the people that say Vince McMahon isn't in love with Roman Reigns, okay, if you're not in love with Roman Reigns, Vince McMahon, then why are you changing a whole Saudi Arabia pay-per-view from the King and Queen of the Ring to Night of Champions just to celebrate Roman Reigns holding the title for 1,000 days?
1,000 days. His 1,000th day will be on that pay-per-view.
And I have a feeling that's another reason why they didn't pull the trigger on Cody. They want him to get to 1,000 days.
He shouldn't even be close to 1,000 days, though.
I mean, how many of those title defenses in the last 3 years has he won fairly?
5.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, at least 5.
Yep.
But that was in the first year. How many in the last 2 years has he won fairly?
Actually, the one against Sami Zayn was clean.
I don't think
I
so.
think Solo got involved.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah, I
It was
believe
in
Solo
Canada.
did get
It was in
slightly
Canada.
get
The only one that
involved.
could be there was Solo.
hmm And I think the
Actually, no,
Usos
it was Jimmy too, because Jay was the one that has the problem. So Jimmy was there too. Yeah.
yeah.
But anyways, going back to the grudge that Vince has on Dusty, it wouldn't be Vince Jr. It would have been Vince Sr.
Wrong. Because it was Vince Jr. that Dusty spurned and went to the NWA. It wasn't Vince Sr. Dusty went over to the WWF when he wrestled Billy Graham in the Garden.
And won the title, and then immediately was stripped of it by Vince Sr.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't going to stay in the WWE. He went over to work for him for that match to have the matches with Billy Graham. And then, because I know Vince wasn't in charge then because he was doing commentary for that match. And in the early days, unlike, the later times, when Vince was doing the commentary, he wasn't in charge.
right. But
Actually, he did get a little bit of revenge on Dusty by making Dusty wear the polka dots in the WWF.
Yep.
boy, did Dusty pull that off.
Yes,
Oh
he
boy,
did.
did he ever!
He did. He did.
Plus, I loved it. Who
Okay.
can never forget his manager?
Sweet Sapphire.
Yep.
Okay. So, hey, guys, due to time restraints, why don't we do this? Why don't I end the broadcast, and then you guys can stay on and talk? Okay? So here we go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And in closing, please remember to help control the pet population and have your host and co-host spayed and neutered. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Also, your executive producer, because you're not getting